Good morning, cadets. Today we are going to discuss about ordering of sentences. Now, in the case of ordering of sentences, you have to arrange the sentences in order to make a meaningful passage. So, here in the case of this, there will be the first sentence that will be labeled as yes one, and the last sentence will be labeled as yes 6. There'll be four sentences which are supposed to be the sentence which will be between yes 1 and yes 6. So here in this passage, how many sentences are there? There are 6 sentences, and the first and the 6 sentences are labeled. So for the first sentence, which is at the beginning, is yes 1. The last sentence, which is at the end of this passage, is yes 6. Then in between we have 4 sentences. The middle 4 sentences, they are all jumbled up, and they are labeled as PQRS. So they are jumbled up sentences. And remember, here you are rearranging the sentences. There's one more question. Ordering of words in a sentence. That is, you have to make a meaningful sentence by rearranging the words. But here you have to rearrange the sentences in order to make it a meaningful passage or paragraph. So you are required to find out the proper sequence of these 4 sentences. And then you mark accordingly on the answer sheet. Okay. So you have to then the proper sequence which is there, that is what you have to find out there. The options will be given there, like A, B, C, D. These are the options which are given there. Okay. So shall we go to the first one now? We'll go to the first one now, 21st one. We already seen 20 questions of the passages, and we are here at this first question of the ordering of sentences. Now let's go to the first sentence. Einstein was very simple in his ways of life and indifferent to his astounding fame. So Einstein was very simple in his ways of life and indifferent to his astounding, very huge fame, very amazing fame. So he was not bothered about his fame, his popularity. Okay, and the last sentence is so they went back to the queen and informed her that he had not come by the train. Remember that first you have to read all the sentences and try to understand this passage. Then once you understand this passage, it will be easier for you to make the correct paragraph or passage. The sequence will be correct. And remember here, you have to make a pair of 2 sentences. PQRS, you read this PQRS and find out any pair. Once you are able to find out the pair, it becomes easier for you to find out the answer. So can you try to make any pair anyway? See, sometimes it's the conjunction. So now it has come. So it has come in yes 6. So if it has come yes 6, so the reason, so they went back to the queen and informed her that he had not come by the train. So what will come before that? So probably they could never imagine that this shabby man would be Einstein himself. So they went back. It sounds as if P is the one which just comes before yes 6. Or just try what will follow yes 1. Or you can make any pair there, whichever you feel. Like, you just try with that. Once the Queen of Belgium invited him to Brussels. Once the Queen of Belgium invited him. Whom she invited? She invited Einstein. She invited Einstein. So Einstein was very simple. Then once the Queen of Belgium invited, probably it sounds that this may be the first one. After yes one, probably Q is the one which will follow. Because once the Queen of Belgium invited him to Brussels, Einstein was very simple like that it is given, and then we come over here, was the Queen of Belgium invited him to Brussels. Just we'll try with that. What sentence follows there? After that we'll just try. And when he got down from the train at Brussels, he could not think that there were actually many gorgeously dressed officials to receive him at the station. And then the officials also, see here, the officials to receive him. Now the officials also expected to see somebody who would appear to be rich and aristocratic before them. So here you can make out that what follows yes, it's R which follows yes. Yes, R. And before yes, R, what should come? Definitely Q. And we have felt that P will follow yes, yes 6. P will follow S6. So just before S6, we will have P. They could never imagine that this shabby man would be Einstein himself, so they went back. So you got it. So is there, and before that there should be a statement. Now there's a reason they could never imagine. So there's a reason for that. So they have gone back to the queen. Why? Because they never imagined that this shabby man would be Einstein himself. So P is last, and you will find that it is only in C. That is a proper sequence there. So C is the right answer. Q, S, R, P. So anyway, first one we have spent more time. So let's try 22nd one. Yes, one. First, try to read the yes one and yes 6 again and again, so that once you know what will follow yes 1 and what should be just before yes 6, then you can make it sure. Then out of those four jumbled ones, you try to make a pair, and then definitely you'll be able to find the answer for that. So here, Jagdish was tired after a long walk through the thick jungle. Yes 6, here to his satisfaction, he found that there were hardly any mosquitoes. As night fell, he came to a swampy place near a lake where he decided to camp. At last, in despair, he sprang into the branches of a nearby tree and climbed to the top. So it's at last. So it sounds Q must be at the end. Maybe A, option A or B may be the right one. We'll just try whether any of them is correct one. But the place was so full of mosquitoes. Now he has come to a place, and but the place. Now just before that, what should come? That is what we should think about that. What will come before that? He spread a blanket on the ground and stretched himself out on. So he found a place and he spread a blanket, but that place was full of mosquitoes. So yes, sir. And we have felt that Q must be the last one. Yes, sir, Q. And just before that, what will come? P. P, S, R, Q. So what is the sequence? A is the right answer. A is the right answer. Okay. Because at last you can make out very easily. So this is how you have to think whenever you are attempting these kind of questions. So you got the answer. Answer is A, P, S, R, Q. Okay, let's go to 23rd now. What kind of India are we working for, and what kind of world? So what kind of India, what kind of world? Okay, some small part of that dream has come true. So dream is anywhere just before that. Some small part of that dream has come true. Now here there's a question, it all appears has come true. So some dream has come true. Was there any real substance in those dreams, or were they merely the fancies of a fevered brain? A question. And anyway, and here also, here in this city of Allahabad, my boyhood and youth were spent in dreaming dreams and seeing visions of India's future. Some small part of that dream has come true. Now here, either R or Q will come just before ES6. So at the end, either R or Q. But here, only R is there at the end. So probably R will, where is R? R is there in C. Just think over that. I have just given you a clue just before reading that, only because what has come, dream is the word. Some small part of that dream has come true. That is what is there in S6. I got the clue there. And dream has come in Q. Dream has come in R. But it sounds there's a question and as if that is the answer for that question. Okay, let's try there. Are hatred and violence and fear and communalism and narrow promiscuousness to mold our future? That is a question. Surely not. Oh, right. After yes, P will come. Just try. After yes, P should come. Yes, I think that's right. Because when question is there has to be answer. For R, yes, 6 is the answer. For yes, P is the answer. So right sequence here in question number 23 is C, yes, P, Q, R. Yes, P, Q, R. Okay, let's move on to question number 24 now. Pasteur began his fruitful scientific investigations when he was professor of chemistry at Strasbourg. Okay, the pasteurization process, which he described for wine and beer, is used now to safeguard milk too. He also found how germs causing changes in materials could be controlled by heat. He made a thorough study of the wine industry in France. So he made a thorough study of the wine industry here. He was a professor of chemistry. Pasteur began his fruitful scientific investigation when he was professor of chemistry. So what he has made a thorough study of the wine industry. I think it sounds Q may be the right one. You can always, when you are reading all these jumbled sentences, PQRS, you can always look for what may follow S1. Now the pasteurization process which he prescribed for wine and beer is used now to safeguard milk too. After careful and extensive investigation, he produced the germ theory of fermentation. He thus saved sounds R that will come at the end. So it should start from Q, it should end with R. So there are two, B and D. And B and D, which is the right option? Now let's see here. Yes, P is given here D and P, yes. He also found how germs causing changes in material. P, then yes, with after careful. No, it sounds after careful and extensive investigation, he produced the germ theory of fermentation. He also found. So yes should follow P. Therefore, the right answer is D, Q, S, P, R. Let's go to 25th one. In democratic countries, men are equal before law and have a voice in deciding how and by whom they shall be governed. And last sentence, and they live like this, not for fun, but because they are too poor to afford another room. While some few people live in luxury, many are not even enough to drink and wear. There's a contrast here, while some few people. Okay, so just before that, what should come before that? That is what we have to think. But with respect to the sharing of money, which means the sharing of food and clothing and houses and books and so on, the system is still very fair. So in democratic countries, men are equal and have a voice. So after that, what should come? Contrast should come, and we have to look for where there is a contrast. So in democratic countries, it is a kind of statement. So either P will come or Q will come. It all appears either P or Q. That should follow yes one. Okay, so let's see next two sentences which are there. There are many families of 5 or 6 persons who live in a single room. They sleep and dress and wash and eat their meals. In this same room they are born and in the same they die. So here R sounds, there are many, because and they live like this. So it is referring to that. So R should come at the end. Even in the finest world cities, thousands of people live in dreadful surroundings, in fearful surroundings. Even in the finest of world cities, it is a similar kind of thing where yes should come. So there are many families. So even in the finest, I think yes just before R. Okay, so before R. Then while some few people live in luxury, right? So it sounds after S1 it will be Q, but with respect not P, so Q. So the right sequence will be C Q P S R Q P. So but with respect to the sharing of money, so after S1 it is a contrast there. Because yes one is a statement, men are equal before law, have a voice in deciding how and by whom. Then, but with respect to the sharing of money, so first it is introduced to us, and then after that, while some few people live in luxury, many are not even. So there is a kind of elaboration there. Okay, and likewise QP, yes sir. QP, yes sir. Okay, let's go to question number 26 now. Mental disability, whether mental retardation or any other developmental disability, is not the same as mental illness. So there is a contrast: mental disability, mental illness. And the earlier, the better. So what and earlier? The earlier you find the cure for that, it is better. So if that is the case, and the earlier the better. So mental disability, mental illness. Mental disability, whether mental retardation or any other, is not the same. So there is a difference. If that is a difference, then what is mental disability? First we have to look for that. So what should come earlier? That is what is the question. A person with mental disability can certainly be helped to improve, but mainly in childhood. But mental disability has no cure. Mental illness has an identifiable cause and may be cured. So there is a difference. So at first mental disability is introduced, then probably R will be the right one, because mental illness has an identifiable cause and may be cured. But mental disability has no cure. I think R after that, Q should follow. Because mental internal illness, yes, you can cure. But mental disability, you can't cure. It is not just before S6, Q will come. So you can be sure that R should follow Q. R should follow Q. Then after that what? A person with mental disability can certainly be helped to improve. Not the best doctors, nor all the medicines in the world can cure mental disability. So what should come now after that? That is what you have to think about. Whether yes or P. Not the best doctors, nor all the medicines in the world can cure mental disability. A person with mental disability can certainly be helped. So after yes, P will come. So right sequence will be, what will be the right sequence? RQ, yes, P. RQ, yes, P. Okay, so let's go to 27th one. So 27th and 28th. So these are the two that we are here at. So yes, one, a devastating earthquake had hit Mexico City. The condition of 1,000 others was reported unsafe. 50 more were later judged dangerously close to falling. The quake's force was measured at 7.8 on the Richter scale. In 4 chaotic minutes, an estimated 250 buildings collapsed in downtown Mexico City. And yes, it was the world's most severe quake since the quake in Chile last month. So what should be a devastating earthquake of, then what the quake's force was? Okay, I think Q will be the right one. The quake's force was measured at 7.8 on the Richter scale. Can you find any two? The condition of 1,000 others will. So it is referring to buildings now. 250 buildings collapsed in 4 chaotic minutes. How many buildings have collapsed? 250 buildings have collapsed, and 50 more were later judged dangerously close to falling. So here RP. RP. So the right answer will be what? QSRP. Because here 7.8 Richter scale, then it was the world's most severe quake, and then because at the end the condition of 1,000 others, what? Buildings. Here, right? Okay, so 250 buildings collapsed, and the 50 more were dangerous, and 1,000 others reported unsafe, right? So the right sequence is QSRP. Let's go to the last one, 28th one. S1, undoubtedly science has done wonders. Yes, 6. So wonders, then any other way wonders has come now? But has it stopped with wonders which are beneficial to mankind? Okay, wonders, yes one, is it R, which it will start with? That's what we have to think, because undoubtedly science has done wonders, and then here, but in giving such an answer, our attention must not be taken up entirely. But what answer? That is the question. But whereas in the case of R, but it has stopped with wonders, which are beneficial to mankind? The honest answer has to be not always. Has it stopped with wonders? And not always. So R will follow Q. R will follow Q, and when R will follow Q, then let's see. But in giving such an answer, not always, but in giving such an answer, our attention must not be taken up entirely by the danger from nuclear weapons and chemical warfare. There is far greater real danger from the damage to the environment arising from the so-called peaceful uses of science. The science which was once considered a destructive power only in war must be recognized as one also in its apparently constructive activities during peace. So what is the right answer? The right answer is RQPS. That's A. Okay. I hope you understood. You have got the clue now. Find out the pair. Understand well. This is very scoring, and every time this question appears in the UPSC examination. So study well, do well, don't neglect it, because this attempt of ordering of sentences, sometimes it becomes very tedious, it becomes very boring, but unless you practice, you can't do well. Practice makes a man perfect. Practice, practice, practice. Then definitely your marks, your score will be in your hand, and you'll be able to clear very well. You'll come out with flying colors. Thank you. Goodbye.